Hello everyone, my name is Birendra and I am the head of Short Mains and Mentoring Program in Vajiram and Ravi. Since prelims is over, we have started to receive so many queries related to the mains approach. So in this session, we are going to talk about that. But before that, let me discuss the learning from the prelims itself. I'm pretty sure for many students, the prelims 2026 prelims was an eye-opener. For some, it was a shock, right? Because the UPSC has changed everything. The area from where UPSC used to ask the question, the level of question, even the options, everything has changed. So through the prelims, UPSC just wanted to convey one thing to every aspirant. And that one thing is, don't try to predict us. If you are going to predict us, we are going to give you the more trouble. As simple as that, right? Because after talking with so many students, I have realized one thing. This paper, the prelims 2026, has reduced the gap between the veterans and the fresher. Because even the veterans was facing the same level of difficulties in the examination hall when they were attempting the question. They were not confident what will be the right answer. Hardly 15-20 question was there in which most of the veterans were confident कि हाँ ये answer होगा. Forget about the freshers, right? So this exam has taught us one very important thing, and that important thing is prepare yourself for unpredictable question. And if UPSC can ask these kind of question in the prelims, obviously it can replicate the same pattern in the mains also. UPSC don't want anyone who still believe in the rote learning. UPSC wants someone who are very dynamic as far as the approach is concerned, as far as the methods are concerned, as far as even the resources are concerned. So if you are that kind of a student who blindly trust on any particular source or any particular approach, then probably this exam is going to give you the trouble, right? So I believe you have understood after giving the prelims that what you need to prepare for as far as the mains is concerned. Time is very less, my friend. Take couple of the break off couple of days and start with the mains preparation. So the program which I'm going to talk about is the mains camp. The mains camp is daily live answer writing program led by the rankers. Last year, we have launched this program for the first time and we have got very good result. If you have not seen the result, you can go on the YouTube and you can see the testimonials, the podcast I have conducted with the rankers who were my students, right? But there are one very common question which I have been receiving from many students, that whether this mains camp is for freshers or whether this is for the veterans also. I'll give you the clarity for about all these questions, right? But one my humble request from all of you is, when you are watching this session, please focus on the philosophy of this program. Don't only focus on the features, right? Because if you are going to miss the philosophy of this program, then you will not be able to understand how this is going to help you in particular. Because this is just not an answer writing program, it's a comprehensive plan to make sure that you are well prepared for mains 2026, right? And as far as the freshers and veterans are concerned, I'll give you one simple example. Last year, I have a couple of students. One was Rishul Nima. He was fresher. It was his first mains, you can say, right? And he secured 267 rank. On the other hand, one of my student, right, he secured 408 rank. His name was Asim Mahajan. And Asim Mahajan was a very brilliant student. 2025 attempt was his fifth attempt with 3 previous interviews. So, mains camp has helped both the category of students, one who was fresher and the one who was veterans. But you need to identify first what are the weaknesses there in your preparation. Otherwise, you will not be able to take the benefit from this program. So self-analysis is very, very crucial as far as the mains is concerned. We have very less number of days to prepare everything, be it notes, be it optional, be it essay, be it language paper. There are so many things, right? So you can take a couple of days and you can analyze your own preparation. You can frame a timetable which can help you, and then you can start with the answer writing, right? So mains camp is not only about the fresher, but it can also help the veterans. So first we will see what are the various striking feature we have. And again, one most important thing, that all the mentors in these programs are rankers. We have 4 or 5 rankers in-house who will be there to help all the students who are going to be a part of mains camp, or even the sure shot super senior 50 batch, right? So the rankers are part of this program. Sachi ma'am is there, Shubham sir is there, Shashwat sir is there, Karthik sir is there, they all are rankers. So let's begin with the features of this program. So the very first feature, as you know, that this is a live answer writing program where there will be 5 questions we will practice on a daily basis from Monday to Friday. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the test will begin. If you are online students, the question will be there on your screen. The question will be there on your screen, and it will be a time-bound test. Means you have to attempt the 10-marker question in 7.5 minutes and 15-marker question in 11.5 minutes. After that, the question will disappear from the screen and the next question will appear, right? So it is a time-bound answer writing practice. Every day you are going to get 5 questions, right? So there are 20 sectional tests. I'll show you the timetable, how these tests are divided as far as the syllabus is concerned. So these sectional tests are basically subject wise, not the paper wise. For example, the first 2 days we are going to cover the polity. Next, on Wednesday, for example, if the test starts from Monday, right? Then Monday, Tuesday, there will be polity test. On Wednesday, we will pick up the question from governance. On Thursday, there will be society or social justice. And then on Friday, we will attempt the international relation question, right? So it will be like that. So the questions are basically, we are going to practice based on the subject, not the paper wise. In the first phase I'm talking about, right? And there will be 20 sectional tests covering the entire syllabus in phase 1, right? Now, in phase 2, there are going to be 8 half-length tests. 8 half-length tests means for GS paper 1, there will be 2 tests. GS paper 2, there will be 2 tests. For 3 and 4, there will be 2 tests each. Apart from that, in phase 2, we are going to include the essays as well, right? Live discussions will be included in the second phase also, right? The live discussion will start right after the test. So for example, if the test starts at 8 o'clock, right? If the test starts at 8 o'clock, then from 9 o'clock, from 9 a.m., we will start the discussion. And again, in this discussion, there will be involvement of rankers. So we have made sure that rankers are involved at each and every stage of this program. Be it live discussion, after the test, be it one-to-one discussion, be it essay, or be it anything. If you have any doubt related to the mains preparation, it could be your previous year's question, it could be your notes making, right? It could be the value addition. You can discuss with the rankers, right? I hope this is clear. Now, many students have asked whether we are going to provide the evaluation in this also. So answer is yes. So the evaluation is we are going to provide for every phase. Even in phase 1, there will be evaluation, phase 2, phase 3, and even phase 4. So all the 4 phases will have the evaluation part, right? That is another thing. And evaluation part was not there in the first phase in 2025, but when we started to receive requests from the students, we have included the evaluation part in phase 1 also. So phase 1 will, like all the features of this program will be applicable from phase 1 itself, right? So phase 2 will have half-length test, like 2 tests from each GS paper, like GS paper 1, 2 tests, GS paper 2, 2 tests, 3 and 4, 2 tests each, and 1 essay. Now, the phase 3, right? In phase 3, there will be full-length test, 4 full-length tests and 1 essay, right? And after that, there will be simulation, where again you will have 4 GS tests, 4 FLTs, and 1 essay. Now, the most important thing which you need to understand, why we have designed, why we have 4 phases in the mains camp. That is one of the most important thing you need to understand, right? For example, let me show you one thing. When you will start with the mains answer writing, right? You will have so many things to cover. First, you will begin with, or you will start asking the question whether you have notes or not. If not, then how to prepare the notes. Second, you will also start thinking about the answer writing, because if you are not going to start the answer writing from the very first week itself, you will be late in the race. Third thing is you have to think about the optional also. Fourth thing, you have to think about the essay. And most importantly, the revision. Right? Most important is the revision. How many times do we really revise the subjects in next 2 or 3 months? To be precisely, we will be, once the result will be out, you will be having approximately 75 days, right? You will be having approximately 75 days once the result is out. है ना? अगर 15 दिन में भी result out हो जाता है, तो 75-80 days we will be having in hand. In 75 days, how many times do we revise? Only once or twice maximum. And that's true, not all the subjects, not everything what we prepare or what we have been preparing over the year. So this revision is the problem. So many students, right? For example, if you are a fresher, you will be spending a lot of time. You will be spending a lot of time with the notes making. Freshers galti kya karenge? They will be spending the time with the notes making, value addition, right? They will read new resources or maybe the new stuff. And by the time they will realize that they should have started the answer writing probably from the first week itself, it will be too late. It will be too late. Trust me, I have seen this. In the previous batch, there were many students who realized it. They were not a part of this mains camp, but they approached me after the mains itself, and when I asked them the question, where did you went wrong? What went wrong with the mains? Then they told me, sir, we started with the answer writing very late. We were focusing on notes. We were focusing on the value addition. We were focusing on reading the new concept, the new data, but we were not able to apply it in the mains itself. So if you are fresher, you must understand this. And how this program will help you, you know it, right? From 1st of June itself, you will come at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? With whatever the knowledge you have so far, you will come at 8 a.m. and you will go back home by 10 a.m. Right? In 2 घंटे में आप 5 आंसर लिखोगे, you will write 5 answers, and those 5 answers will be discussed by me, Mohit sir. Rankers are there, right? So almost in every session you will find the rankers. So in these 2 hours, at least you will be relieved कि यार मैंने 5 आंसर तो लिख लिए हैं. At least my answer writing part is done by 8 a.m. itself. Now you have entire day. You have entire day to prepare your optional, to prepare your essay, to prepare your notes, to think about the value addition or maybe the revision. But at least you will be relieved from the answer writing, right? Otherwise, many students will start the answer writing 15th June onwards or maybe from 20th June. So if you are going to start from 20th of June, 20 days are already wasted. Because many students will say, sir, हमने waste नहीं किया, हमने तो revise किया, हमने तो पढ़ा. भाई आप क्या पढ़ रहे हो? If you will not be able to identify the weaknesses in your answer until you start the answer writing itself, right? If the mentors are, if you will not write the answer, mentors will not be able to share the feedback with you. The rankers will not be able to share the feedback with you. How would you know what are the weaknesses in the answer writing? What are the weaknesses in your notes? That is a problem. So the best way is to start answer writing from the very first week itself, once the prelims is over. That is the reason why we have decided that we are going to launch this program for the 1st of June itself. We are not going to wait for the result to come out. Because if you are confident that you are going to clear the prelims, right, then you can start early. This is the time where you can take an edge, right? So by the time first phase is over, right, once the first phase is over, you can, suppose in 20 days, right, 20 days, first phase is over. Now, the second phase, you can start with the half-length test. Don't you think you will be revising the stuff in the second phase itself? So whatever the time you have spent, you have spent in the first phase in notes making or value addition, you can revise it and again you can come for the phase 2. Yes or no? So whatever the knowledge you have gathered, whatever the content you have prepared, whatever the notes you have prepared in the phase 1, you can just check whether you are able to utilize them in the answer writing or not. And by the time you will be attempting or the half-length test in the second phase, your conceptual clarity, right, will be at next level. Because by the time you will be attempting the half-length test, you would have attended 20 discussions. That's too live. You would have the idea how to write the good introduction. Or forget about what to write in the introduction. What is the idea of a good introduction? How to think about it, templates or the framework to generate the point for each and every topic. Right? आप rot learning की तरफ नहीं जा रहे हो. आपका mind open हो रहा है कि हाँ कोई भी question आए, क्या के ऊपर आए, right? या agriculture के topic से आए. How to apply the templates or the framework. All these parts will be covered in the first phase itself in the live discussion. Because in camp, we do not discuss the model answer. We discuss the approach. We teach you how to think rather than what to write. And this is what the core difference between the mains answer writing program in Vajiram and the other answer writing programs. We focus on how to think, how to approach, rather than what to think, what to write. Because, see, content is not everything which is going to help you in the mains. Content की एक limitation होती है. Content have limitation. Who knows whether the UPSC is going to ask the question from the same content which you have prepared? Chances are very less. Looking at the nature of question UPSC have asked in the prelims, it is very difficult to predict from where the UPSC will ask the question. So if there is one particular skill which will help you in the mains is your analytical skill, your critical thinking, which you need to inculcate in next 2 months. Sooner the better, right? So by the time the second phase will come, your notes will be already prepared. Your value addition part will be done. By that time, you already would have interaction with the rankers. आपको पता होगा कि आंसर में क्या लिखना है, स्ट्रक्चरिंग कैसे करनी है. And then you can implement the learning in the second phase. Once your half-length test is done, then the next part, which is again very important. After second phase, you may find it that it is difficult to complete the paper in 3 hours. Again, you can interact with the rankers. We will discuss the strategy that how to complete the paper in time. 3 hours, 3 घंटे में कैसे paper complete करना है, right? So, in the third phase, again, you will revise and you will implement the learning, right? So this is the third phase, that is full length test. And finally, there will be simulation, where you will get GS paper 1 and 2 on one day and 3 and 4 in the next day, where we will be replicating the same pattern in the exam hall, right? Which will be the real test, whether you are prepared for the mains finally or not. So, see how many revisions we are going to have through this program. And it's very logical, trust me. It's very logical to follow this process. Otherwise, my friends, trust me, ये 2 महीने कैसे निकल जाएंगे, we won't be able to accept the reality, but trust me, these 2 months are going to be very, very important for your life. And this mains exam, हमको लगता है कि the mains is the most toughest phase of this preparation. But if you follow the right approach, if you follow the right guidance, this is the most easiest phase. Why this is the most easiest phase? Because in mains, just ask yourself, how many students are prepared with their notes, with their value addition, as far as their understanding about the demand of the question is concerned, as far as the structuring of the answer is concerned. Ask yourself how many students are confident. And you will find the competition is not among 15,000 students, but the real competition is between not more than 5,000 to 7,000. And out of 5,000 to 7,000, you just have to score 50%. And you will find your name in the list. So, the real competition is not the mains. यहाँ पे तो तुक्के भी नहीं चलेंगे, जैसे प्रीलिम्स में चल जाते हैं, लॉजिक चल जाते हैं. इस बार तो खैर वो भी नहीं चले हैं. But in mains, it's a pure logical game. Right? So, start developing the answer writing strength from the day one. Otherwise, it will be too late to realize. Right? So, I hope you understand the concept. Now, if you are for example, veterans, right? Suppose you are veteran. Now many veterans, usually what they do, either they go for the FLTs, right? Either they go for the, in Vajiram we have dedicated senior program, seniors super 50 batch, where we allow only those students who have given the mains once at least, right? And then we are going to have a rankers program. We have a rankers program where only those candidates will be allowed to join who have given at least interviews, right? But now still many veterans are confused how the mains camp will help them. So let me tell you a story of Asim Mahajan, right? Asim Mahajan came in contact with me through one of my students. She was also a ranker in 2024. So she recommended Asim Mahajan to go and talk to me and discuss the strategy as far as the mains is concerned. Because Asim ने 3 interview already दिए हुए थे. And the major hurdle for Asim was the mains itself, because his marks was stuck in a range. Now can you imagine someone who has given 3 interviews? Do you think he would think about joining a program where he will be given just 5 questions on a daily basis? क्या होते हैं 5 क्वेश्चन यार? जिसने 3 इंटरव्यू दिए हैं वो ऐसे चलते चलते लिख देगा, लो 5 आंसर सर, ये रहे मेरे आंसर. But when I analyzed his copy, right, when I analyzed his answers, he had a very good content, because veterans always have a almost, अगर आपने 2-3 इंटरव्यू दिए हैं या 2-3 मेंस दिए हैं, then content will not be a problem for you, right? Asim was the same case. He had a very good content, right? Even as far as the value addition is concerned, he was very good at it. As far as the revision strategy is concerned, obviously from last 3-4 years he have been giving the mains, so revision was not a problem. His optional was also good. Even he was scoring very good in the essays. Consistently he scored 120, 118 like that throughout the mains. That is the reason he was confused कि अब क्या करें. हर चीज तो मेंस के लिए मैंने करी रखी है, कंटेंट है मेरे पास, वैल्यू एडिशन है मेरे पास, then revision I am doing it on a daily basis, my optional is very strong, my essay writing is very good, then where should I improve? That was the question Asim has asked me. Then I asked him, share the copies with me. When I looked at the answers he wrote in the previous attempts or in the mock test, then I realized that one critical gap in his answer, and that gap was not the content or not the value addition, but it was more about the structuring of the answer. Structuring of the answer. Now many students think that structuring of the answer is just to think about the demand of the question, right? My friend, as far as the structuring of the answer is concerned, it is not about the demand. It is not only about the demand. It is about, you can say, if suppose there are 2-3 demands in the question, how much weightage you are giving to a core demand of the question. तो खाली डिमांड को आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करना है, आप उसको किस लेवल तक इंप्लीमेंट मतलब एड्रेस कर रहे हो कोर डिमांड को. दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरिंग. हाउ यू आर प्लेसिंग द वैल्यू एडिशन. You must be having so many facts. You must be having so many examples. But how are you placing them in the answer? That is another thing. Third thing, basically, is your presentation. This was one of the most common problem. The answers, the points which Asim used to write was very lengthy. It was a bit explanatory. It was narrative. It was narrative language, right? So the language which Asim used to use in framing the points, it was narrative. It was narrative. Do you think examiner in the examination hall will be interested in reading your narration? Answer is no. You have to make sure your points are descriptive in the nature. If you are going to write narrative points, you will not be able to beat the content. Means you will not be able to cross 8 or 9 points in your answer in 150 words. There are rankers who are writing 12 point, 15 points. How are you going to beat them as far as the content is concerned itself? So, even Asim was a veteran, he was facing difficulties in the mains. Problem समझ में ही नहीं आ रही थी, कहाँ है? So, इसीलिए I would appreciate, I would encourage rather, if you are a veteran, if you have given couple of interviews or couple of mains, and you are confused which program you should go for, you can bring your answers. You can fill the form given in the description box. You can bring your answers, you can bring your notes, and you can discuss with us. All the rankers, they are already, they have already started taking the discussions even for those students who are not part of any program, right? So we are open for everyone. हम लोग ये नहीं बोल रहे हैं कि पहले आप प्रोग्राम ज्वाइन करो एंड देन यू शुड डिस्कस विद अस एंड देन यू शुड बुक अ मेंटरशिप. आप ऐसे ही आ जाओ यार. We believe in openness, right? Because what we think, if you get the right direction, I'm talking about the veterans, it is just a direction which can change your fate. It is not about the content or the hard work. We truly believe you have been doing it for last couple of years. That is the reason you have got a chance to appear for the interviews. But probably the direction is missing. Just one push and you are in. So we are here to give you that push. The rankers are there to give you that push. But for that, you have to approach us. You have to get in touch with us. You have to show your answers, right? Without looking at your answers, your notes, how we are going to judge or how we are going to guide you? That is the biggest question. I hope this is clear. So please remove this question from your mind that the mains camp is not for the veterans. It is for veterans, it is also for the freshers. But you have to be very, very consistent to join this program. Every day coming at 8 a.m. in the morning, writing 5 answers, attending the live discussions, and then going back to the home. So Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. The first phase, Monday to Friday. Right? So I'll just show you a schedule also so that you will not have any question as far as how the syllabus is divided as far as the tests are concerned, right? So even see Mohit Agarwal, he was the part of mains camp. Even Pakshal secretary, rank 8, he was a part of mains camp. So all these rankers as well. See, phase 1, right? So phase 1, it starts from 1st of June to 26th of June. After that, from 29th June to 17th July, we have half-length test, right? Then in phase 3, it starts from 24th of July to 28th of July, right? So 4 full-length tests and 1 essay. Essay will start from the second phase also, right? Second phase also, the essay will start. Then in the third phase also, there will be essay. And fourth phase, there will be essay. So the last date for the simulation will be 9th of August. Right? So still after 9th August, you will have 10, 11, 12 days to revise or to overcome the problem which we will discuss throughout the phases. Right? आप revise कर सकते हो या जो भी छोटे मोटे gaps होंगे, you can address them. Or you can practice more answer writing and you can discuss with us. Right? So these are the 4 phases which has been divided, and more detailed version of the breakdown of the syllabus is here. For example, like the first Indian Polity Test 1, we are going to cover all these topics. So there will be 5 questions. And my friend, the 5 questions which we are going to pick up, right? These 5 questions, I will tell you the philosophy of the 5 questions. These 5 questions will be based on the 2 pillars. One is the PYQ and how this PYQ is evolving in the nature. So these are the 2 pillars or the 2 core component which we are going to follow to frame the question. We will make sure the direct question should get hit in the mains. That is the reason why 53 questions out of 73 questions, 53 questions got reflected in the mains 2025 itself. Because this is the philosophy we follow. Previous question is the most important pillar. So every question will have a component of PYQ and the changing component or the contemporary development. So you will get the idea what UPSC has asked and what UPSC can ask. I'm not saying it will ask, UPSC can ask. So you will have both the ideas, right? So this is the thing. So the first phase is basically like I have explained. In first phase, the 5 questions we are going to frame topic wise or the subject wise, right? So for example, the 1st June Indian Polity, 2nd June Indian Polity 2, 3rd June governance, then 4th June social justice, 5th June international relation. Then there will be a gap of 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. Then third week, from second week, we will start with GS paper 3, Indian economy, agriculture, like this, right? So finally, the second phase will start from 29th of June, right? So in second phase, we are going to have a half-length test. For example, the GS paper 2 will be divided into 2 parts, right? So on Monday, 29th of June, the first test, half-length test will be there covering all this topic from polity. And then on 1st of July, in the second test, we are going to cover social governance and social justice. It's like that, right? And IR. So in 2 FLTs, we will cover the entire GS2. Similarly, next 2 FLTs will be for GS paper 3. It's like that. And at the end, we are going to have the essays, right? 17th July, we are going to have the first essay test. The copy will be evaluated for all the tests, be it phase 1, be it phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 essays, right? I hope this is clear. Now, still I'm pretty sure you will be having a lot of doubts, though I have tried to cover each and every aspect. But my friend, more than feature, what is more important is the philosophy of this program, right? Because what we believe that process is more important than the feature itself. You have to understand that apart from the features, the rankers are always there, who are not going to help you only the post test, but if you have any doubt in or before the test itself, you can still interact with them. And it's not like you can interact with them for maybe once in a week or twice in a week. It's not like that. Whenever you want, you are free to walk in the office. You can just book the session, you can talk to them, you can discuss your problem, right? So I hope this is everything. And one important thing which I wanted to announce, probably in a couple of days, we will be starting with the day 0 session, where we will show or we will replicate the same concept live. So if you are interested, please fill the form given in the description box and you can attend the session. You can write the test, you can attend the session, and then you will get the idea how this program will help you. So I'll wrap up this session, and I wish you best of luck for the prelims, and for any question related to mains, you are most welcome. Thank you so much.